So we continue with the quiet series, this information given out to, alert the people about a lot of these different practices that these workforces are taking measures in order to ensure money saving opportunities and, trying to exploit workers, in my opinion, to take on new roles or less roles in order to have it still be a cost effective strategy. So this new concept from quiet cutting, the inverse of that is called quiet hiring, in which they're not necessarily hiring new employees for their companies. More so, they're giving these titles and giving these new roles to existing employees and allowing them to fit these roles and try to figure out how they can do in the workforce. So let's just check out this article. So, Pete, quiet hiring is the opposite of quiet quitting, and workers are furious about it. Quiet hiring has always occurred during difficult economic times like recessions and hyperinflationary periods, but it is it good for morale? Probably not. First came quiet quitting, then came quiet firing. Now, the latest silent workplace trend is quiet hiring. So predicts Gartner in its workplace predictions from 2023. The research advisory and consulting firm says quiet hiring will open new doors for retaining talent without the cost of a lengthy recruitment process. It's an especially vital edge for leaders amid the persistent great resignation and as the average job tenure slowly shrinks. Here's how it works. A company assesses its current workforce, mainly those who have gradually begun taking on responsibilities beyond their job description, which many quiet quitters already vehemently incense against. A thoughtful manager then notices that these workers have effectively started working in the position they wanted before being given the job, a sort of independent upskilling. If all goes according to plan, the manager will dole out a requisite raise or promotion, thereby saving the worker a job search, the company a hiring spree, and everyone time. So, in my opinion, I can see a positive in this, but they're probably looking for the workers that outperform the quiet quitters, of course. But then on top of that, looking for workers that go to and beyond in their job. So then their basic prize that they give to that employer is giving them a promotion and that new job title so that they can move forward and they could do the whole entire quiet hiring process willingly. The strategy is intended to address a company's acute, immediate needs. Emily Rose McRae, leader of Gartner's Future of Work research team, told in CNBC, effectively quiet hiring depends on framing. If you're asking a bunch of people to make this move, you should be able to articulate, what does this mean for them? McRae said. Ideally, the answer is career advancement, but quiet quitters don't see it that way. Quiet hiring is the inverse of quiet quitting. Like many viral workplace trends that have become popular in recent years, quiet hiring is a new name for an old tactic, which is true. Some companies have spent considerable time and resources upskilling employees and giving them new avenues to put them to work. Anthony Nyberg, a scholar at the Academy of Management and program director of the Human Resources Master's Program at the University of South Carolina, tells Fortune, neither of these concepts is new, but moving talent internally to match their new talents to the optimal task does seem to be more appreciated. Ideally, Nyberg continues, quiet hiring will help organizations and employees increase efficiency and satisfaction. Consider Google, which uses an under-the-radar recruiting strategy to identify the brightest minds, both within and outside the company, and figure out where to put them. At its core, that's a quiet hiring strategy. Inc.'s Kelly Main reported back in September. Not surprisingly, Main writes, quiet hired employees tend to get more raises and promotions, while employers with minimal risk and potentially zero training costs can save time and money. But the term itself has developed a negative connotation, as if organizations are tricking employees into doing undesirable jobs, Nyberg says. That's because of its association with quiet quitting, a trend that went viral on TikTok in August to eye roll inducing prominence, which simply describes the steadfast refusal to do any work strictly beyond the perimeters of one's role. By definition, workers who quiet quit remove themselves from the possibility of being quiet hired. Proponents of the latter would say that means boxing themselves out of career development or thousands of potential dollars in raises. But opponents say it's another corporate tactic designed to take advantage of workers, which could be seen as so. I stopped reading when it said they promote internal employees who take on extra tasks. Then I knew it was absolute rubbish. A Redditor wrote in a thread on the concept. No one is getting promoted for doing multiple jobs. They will keep you there as their obedient workhorse with minimal raises and zero support until something breaks. There is no reward for taking on extra tasks, except more tasks. Bosses quiet hire when the economy is tough. Quiet hiring, by any name, has always occurred during difficult economic times like recessions and inflationary periods. Kerry Cooper, an organizational psychology professor at the University of Manchester and member of the Academy of Management, tells Fortune, that's certainly the case now, when just days into 2023, 80% of Americans are predicting an awful, tumultuous year after dealing with sky-high inflation in 2022 and incessant talk about a looming recession. It has been called redistribution of resources, and people were expected to be agile and flexible, Cooper says, between destabilizing economic and geopolitical upheavals. Businesses will be very reluctant to hire more people, instead aiming to keep labor costs at a bare minimum, which is funny because obviously with that, that's basically already saying that more of these companies that's not willing to hire is still going to induce more of a higher unemployment rate. And then with that being said, besides the unemployment rate, many people already understanding that a lot of these jobs or the job hunting process is hard already as it is. Redditors put it more bluntly. Companies are mad about labor productivity declines. They're blaming quiet quitting, something they made up, when we already know the reason. A commenter wrote in a thread, so many people took on new roles elsewhere, which reduced labor productivity. If they want labor productivity up, the best strategy is to reduce churn by retaining the employees they have. This means money. Whether or not quiet hiring is beneficial for the workplace, Cooper predicts it will stick around for at least a year or two. Well, give me your thoughts in the comment section about that. I know there's a lot of hardworking people out there employed and, people out there that could be job hunting right now. But give me your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Peace.